Gridiron Rugby, Rugby League for American Football Fields, presented by the Gridiron Rugby International Federation and the United Rugby League. Hello, this is Dennis Justice. I'm the president of the Gridiron Rugby International Federation. The purpose of this presentation is to describe Gridiron Rugby, go over the basic rules, and the initial concepts of strategy. Now, Gridiron Rugby is a variant of Rugby League that you can play on American football fields, or also known as gridiron fields. Therefore, we came up with the name of Gridiron Rugby. Now, the field is narrower than traditional league fields, and also because they're American fields, we use yards instead of meters out of necessity. Now, keep in mind that in an American football field, there's a lot of fixed linings that are put in. The numbering's almost always there. Also, the 50-yard line and the 20-yard lines are both given special markings on most fields, particularly artificial turf fields. Now, Gridiron Rugby uses a set of rules that are designed to make the game easy to market in high schools and colleges, or a potential professional league in the United States and surrounding countries. We recognize that in the United States, the American football fields are already there. Many of them have tracks already paved around the fields. They're not going to build brand new stadiums just for rugby league. So the set of rules have to acknowledge that. Not too different from hockey. All the sports that play indoors, like indoor arena football or indoor soccer or indoor lacrosse, they have to go with a fixed parameter, which is that hockey rink. And we recognize that will work for rugby league as well. Now, Gridiron Rugby, again, uses yards instead of meters out of necessity. The dimensions will be exactly the same as the football field, which is 100 by 53 yards. The end zone is 10 yards. And now, if you use the traditional rugby league goalposts, which are a little bit narrower and then put right on the try line, you're welcome to do that. However, I highly doubt high schools will do that. They want to use the traditional American football goalpost, which is at the back of the end zone. So our set of rules will accommodate that change. And the lines and the pylons are considered out of bounds, by the way. So if you try to score a try and you hit the pylon before you hit the end zone, you're actually out of bounds and you don't score. The most significant rule change for Gridiron Rugby is we only play 11 players a side. Traditional rugby league plays 13 a side, and their rival rugby union plays 15 a side. Now, because we use a more narrow field, the results actually should be similar to the wider fields using 13 a side. The amount of territory is going to be similar for each player defensively. Now, we use traditional offsides rules for professional and college competitions. We'll use 10-yard space after each tackle. However, in high school and recreation play, we're going to go with the 10-yard spacing after restarts and penalties, but only 5 yards after tackles to try to speed up the game. And let's face it, some of these kids starting out don't have the fitness level of other kids playing the sport internationally yet. The timing is pretty much straightforward. We use, for professional and college games, 2 halves of 40 minutes with a 15-minute halftime. Now, high school will use 4 quarters of 12 minutes with a 12-minute halftime, and recreational leagues will go 2 halves of 30 minutes with a 12-minute halftime. Because of some logistic issues, because it's a new game, because perhaps you don't get as many ball boys starting out for some of your games, we stop the clock on all scores and all delays of game, particularly all scores. And after the score, the clock will restart on kickoffs after the ball is fielded. Now, in American football, you get 4 downs in which you got to get 10 yards, and if you do, you get another set of 4 downs. Rugby league is a little bit different. You usually only get 6 tackles in which to score or to kick the ball. Now, after a player is tackled, he must stand up and play the ball. He rolls the ball back with his foot to a teammate who then restarts play. Now, don't run out of bounds with the ball or get tackled out of bounds with the ball, or your team's going to lose possession. Now, the attacking team can punt the ball at any tackle, and all punts are live balls. Generally, a team will kick on the last tackle. Now, don't kick the ball straight out of bounds. It has to land in bounds first before it goes out of bounds, or it's called out in the full. And the punishment for that is the other team will get the ball back where you kicked it. Be careful how you kick that ball away. Now, traditionally, a team on the last tackle, they might make a last-ditch effort to run in for a score. Like in American football, if you go for it on 4th down and you don't make it, you turn the ball over right there. Or if they're close to the end zone, one of the things they're allowed to do is kick a high ball near the end zone. And if one of their teammates can catch the ball and place it down in the end zone, they score a try. Or they can punt it away, or they can attempt a drop goal. One of the best benefits of Gridiron Rugby is that it teaches better tackling skills. This should be ideal for high school football coaches to keep their players in good shape year-round. And as long as you train these players appropriately, there should not be as much as a safety issue. But we have to understand that in rugby league, all high tackles above the armpits of a standing player are banned. Also, a player with the ball cannot shove his hand to the face of the defending player. Shoulder charges are banned. Tackling players may not lift a player and slam him. And after a tackle, only 2 defenders can be around the running player as he plays the ball. The rest need to get in an onside position. And the tackling player must release the runner after the tackle is complete. The referee usually announces the number tackle when that happens. One of the things that new rugby league coaches in America need to be aware of is that a knock-on is the most common fielding error, particularly when you're starting out a game with a lot of football players who regularly never handle the ball. Now, a knock-on is similar to a fumble in American football. In this occasion, a player who drops or hits a ball forward is guilty of a knock-on, and you lose possession right there. Now, if you misplay a ball and it goes backwards, it's not a knock-on, and by the way, it's still a live ball. Now, since every player does have to field the ball at some point, it's imperative they don't misplay the ball. This is especially true on kickoffs and punts near the end zone. Now, Gridiron Rugby requires players lined up correctly on restarts and after tackles. Based on the rules, based on the age level of players, the defense must give up 5 to 10 yards of space, or the try line if the offense is near the end zone. Now, if you tackle a player without getting onside first, you will be called offsides. And also, an attacking team may kick forward, but can only pass sideways or backwards. Any forward pass is a loss of possession. While traditional rugby league has what's called a 40-20 rule, we're going to use a 50-20 rule. What that means is if an attacking team were to kick the ball from behind the 50-yard line, the ball lands inbounds first and then rolls out of bounds between the 20-yard line and the end zone line. The team that kicked the ball actually gets the ball back with a new set of 6 tackles. So fullbacks who receive kicks better make sure to catch or field that kick if there's any chance of a 50-20. Now, it should be easier to tell if a kicker is kicking from behind the 50-yard line due to logos on the field, and sometimes artificial turf fields have yellow lines because they share the fields with soccer. It's one of the reasons we decided to go with the 50-20 rule because you won't have to have flags up on the 40-yard line. It's a lot easier to mark it this way, and frankly, new players just starting out probably can't kick the ball for a 40-20 anyway. This concludes the end of part 1 of 2 of this presentation. Please locate the second video and play it at this time. Thank you.